Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maximo and I'm here taking a look at Dragon Sinker. Who came up with that name? That's a dumb name. Dragon Sinker Descendants of Legend. This is another Chemco RPG, but it actually looks ever so slightly different to every other RPG they've put out on the store. So I figured I'd give this one a little bit of a look. I've been playing for about 100 minutes, which is about an hour and 40 minutes if you can't do math. So, it's not much, but I think I've got the general idea of what's going on here and we can go have a look around. I want to go look at the options menu first, just before we do though, because I think this is actually interesting. So, your music volume usually starts out way louder. This music is very painful. Turn it down as soon as you get into the game. It's really bad. Like, it almost gave me a headache as soon as I went into the game. I was like, nope, that's got to be turned off immediately. We do also have some other options. So you can turn off the battle effects to make the battles faster, which is nice. You can also make it so that you'll skip the weaker battles, but you won't get the dragon points. You do kind of want to get those. And you can even adjust the encounter rate, just for free. Like, no questions asked. So that's actually kind of nice. You can also change the minimap and the difficulty stuff. You have to be in-game for the difficulty stuff, though. So we're just going to load straight in. As you can see, about an hour and 40 minutes, not too much out of the ordinary, so we'll load straight in. Now, this is super basic, classic fantasy RPG. I mean, you can tell just by looking at it. It looks like something that got pulled out of some free tile set on the internet somewhere, but we'll just go straight into town anyway, because there's a couple of story events we can do to give you an idea of the game's writing, which it honestly isn't that bad. It's a fair bit more generic than their other RPGs, but it still has at least a little bit of charm to it in the old classic fantasy style way. It actually reminds me a lot of, funnily enough, The Longest 5 Minutes. It's so weird having these games come out so close to each other, and them just being so similar. It just weirds me out a little, but we'll actually go and do what they ask us to do first so that you can see some of the cutscenes before I really get into explaining the game's mechanics and all that, which I really don't need to in the grand scheme of things, but, you know, that's what people watch these videos for. So yeah, as I was saying, the writing's pretty basic. There's a very basic story. It is generally, okay, you got your three races, your humans, your elves, and your dwarves. And they all came together with their own legendary weapons in order to fight off a very bad dragon. And this dragon does get beaten the first time around, but then he comes back after 100 years. And he basically starts saying, hey, start giving me tributes, or I will start killing everybody. So the humans start giving him tributes until your main character, the prince, decides to go and actually try and kill him, but fails because they don't have the legendary weapons. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, the quest is basically just to go and kill... The whole story is basically just find the weapons to kill the dragon. That's more or less it. And it's going to go through your usual twists and turns. There's selectable paths. I don't know how much of a difference they'll make. It'll probably make a fair bit of difference because the game's got like 4 different endings. And apparently the difficulty actually affects what ending you get, which is a little odd, but oh well. But yeah, that's a pretty decent sample of the writing that I've seen so far right there. It's not particularly great. It's not an Atlas translation, but it still does the job alright. Gives everybody a little bit of character. And considering I've only been playing for like 2 hours and they literally introduced like... I have like 10 to 12 characters in my party. Like the maximum you can have in your parties are 12, and then you've got a bunch of others you can bring along with you. But you get the general idea. Basically, I don't expect there to be much characterization based on what I've seen so far, but they seem to be doing an okay job with the writing anyway. No, it wasn't 100 years, it was 1,000 years. I'll at least give him credit for making the... I'll give him credit for making the sort of interspecies, I don't want to call it racism, but basically distrust seem pretty realistic. They all seem to have their own little gripes. It works. We also need the support of the dwarves. And we need to repair the legendary sword. That's a little odd. Bit weird how they make you do that. Okay, we need the help of the dwarves. Forging skills are the most greatest in the world. Follow me and I will take you there. Let's make for the Dwarf Kingdom. Alright. So now we have a place to go. If we hit square, we can see that we actually have... No, we don't actually. Usually it gives me a marker straight away. I assume there's going to be some sort of event that happens before we leave the city. There are a couple of other things we can do around town first, and pretty much every town has them. You've got people you can talk to, and they will give you some information, and I actually just got some lottery tickets, which is great, because I'm going to need those later. You got random NPCs you can talk to, and you have side quests that you can get, like one from this guy here. The general idea with a few of the side quests, like some of them are basically just, you know, go kill this thing or get this item, and you'll get whatever kind of item that you would usually get from these sort of side quests. But sometimes you can also get people that will actually come with you on your quest, and they are actually your followers, and they will be very useful in, excuse me, in making your, what's the word I'm looking for? In making your party, because your party is actually very different in this one, which is kind of nice actually. In comparison to all the other Chemco RPGs where the party composition was basically the same sort of deal. Okay, north beyond Mount Verde. Of course, there's more monsters. So if we hit square, yeah, there we go. Now we have somewhere we can go. So I actually need to figure out how the bloody hell we're supposed to get up there. We could circle all the way around, or we could go back the other way. It's going to take a while either way. We'll just head to the right and hope that this is the right direction. So, very basic RPG battle system coming up here. I've got double the encounter rate on, so it will make this very easy. So, here's how this works. You have a team of 4, which is... This is very Final Fantasy. Like, this entire screen here is just a Final Fantasy battle, more or less. And you have a few things you can do. You can attack, you can guard, you can activate an auto thing, which you can customize in the menu, which I'll show off shortly. You can use items and you can use skills. I have a lot of skills. Seriously, the amount of skills you get is kind of ridiculous. But let's see what I can do. We'll just use some fancy, We'll use some fancy skills just to show you what they look like, okay? I've got a couple of classes here. I've got a thief, I've got a priest. I have... Oh, I can steal. Yeah, let's do that. Let's steal something. And I have a... I can't remember what this lady was. But you get the general idea. There's a lot of the basic ones and a few of the less... What's the word I'm looking for? Less ridiculous ones. Less common ones, I should say. But yeah, there are a lot of classes you can get. I actually like that effect. I don't know why... It sticks out like a sore thumb, but I actually kind of like it. Just how it shatters in the glass, which is, it's very strange, but I'm... Oh god. Okay, that didn't hurt as much as I would have thought. But there is something else you can do as well. If you come down here to swap, you can swap to another team. And this is the main idea of the game's battle system. You swap out to a new team with a new set of people. So we appear to have a warrior, a villager, and I don't know what the bloody hell the... King of the Dwarves there has. He's not the King of the Dwarves, but you get the general idea. But yeah, you swap out to another team to make do for another thing. So if a bunch of your teammates are affected with a curable... What's the word I'm looking for? If they're afflicted with like a curable disease or what have you, you can swap to another team and they'll get cured of it instantly. There are a couple of things that doesn't work with, poison paralysis and idle, but it's actually a really neat idea because it lets you swap to another team that you have set up to take on another set of things. So if we can just like swap out to Mia, Chromel, and whatever his name is, because these guys are mages for the most part. So let's see if we can find something that will attack everything. Right. Okay, you can attack everything. And let's see. Okay, we got some enemy column ones here, so let's do that. We'll do the back column so we hit the Mighty Worker Bee. And this is our Ranger, I believe. And he doesn't have anything that can attack more than one enemy at a time, so we might as well take out that Mighty Worker Bee. But you get the general idea, more or less, right? Oh dear. So you got your 3 different parties, your 4 different groups of... Your 3 different parties, your 4 different groups of dudes, and oh god, she's dead. That's not good. But yeah, you got your 3 different teams, and they can be whatever you want, because everybody's got jobs. They work exactly as the way you would expect in a RPG, right? You have your different jobs. That's a sneeze. You have your different jobs, and they level up independently of the character's leveling individual level. So you can level up individual jobs as much as you like. You can also pay 100 gold, which isn't very much, trust me. You can pay 100 gold at any priest, any chapel that you like to swap out anyone's job that you've already got. So you can level them up in a completely different job, and you can also take some of the benefits from that to another job. Obviously, it's a job system, that's just how it works, right? It's all very basic stuff. Other than that, there doesn't really seem to be much else to the game. You've got your status effects, you've got your equipment and stuff, and we'll get on to the equipment and stuff once we've had a couple more battles. And I probably do want to go and put down the encounter rate, because seriously, double the encounter rate is actually a lot. I've mainly been using it for grinding, because every 5 battles gets you 3 dragon points, and I've wanted some dragon points to demonstrate how things work around here. So if I just hit the triangle button, I can go to the system and go to my options and swap the encounter rate down to half. That will do the trick. You can also put the difficulty up as much as you like. Easy restores HP and MP, normal's a good balance, hard and expert do about as you expect. I'm going to put it on hard actually, just for the purpose of actually making the battles that we do run into interesting. Let's take a look around at everything else we got going here. There's your record. That's pretty basic stuff, nothing too out of the ordinary. You've got a shop, which we'll get to. We've got statuses of everybody, nothing too out of the ordinary. Your equipment. Now, the only people who need equipment are actually the people who are in front of the party, which is actually kind of a nice thing, because it means you don't have to do too much changes to the... You don't have to do too much changing to the way the, You don't have to carry around 12 sets of equipment for 12 people, is what I'm trying to say. You might wonder why the hell this guy has 300-something defense and everybody else has like 50. We'll get to that. You've got your quests, including your main and your sub-quests, like there's Please Find My Sister, which is something I haven't done yet, and Please Check Up on My Older Sister, which is a bit of an odd thing to have in 2 side quests at the same time. And here's all the stuff from the main quest. It works a lot like the other ones. You can just go back and see what you've been up to. Your tactics is pretty simple to understand. Here's your formation. Whoever's in front takes and receives more damage. Who's in back takes and receives less damage, except for your usual set of ranged attacks. You've got tactics, which you can use to... you've got your tactics, which can use to be changed. How enemies will... not enemies. How your team will handle the auto functionality. And you've got a few options here. Again, nothing too out of the ordinary. It's a Chemco game. You've got your teams, which you can come to swap anyone to anywhere. It doesn't really matter who goes where. As long as these 3 stay in the lead, you can have the guys below them be anything else. And you can even do a bunch of other things as well. Like if you get 3 bards, for example, you'll have a bit more of an extra team effect, more or less. So I believe bards give you like some HP or MP at the beginning of every turn. So if you had 3 bards, you would get that effect times 3, which is actually a pretty neat effect if you're willing to make a set of teams with a set of abilities. Here's where you can come to check your skills and use skills that are useful outside of battle. I believe I have one that should have the ability to... No, revive must only be during battle. Now, I should actually tell you about one other thing, actually, just while we're here. The person we lost during that fight is currently in the idle state, which is actually kind of neat. If someone runs out of HP, they don't die. You don't have to take them back to get them healed, but when they get up, they'll be at half their HP. So you do need to half their HP and half their MP, I believe, as well. So when they get back up, you have to go and, you know, more or less heal them if you want them back at full strength again, which is actually pretty nice. And of course, you've got consumable items. Revive, you've got your typical anti-X status items. You've got crystals, you've got equipment, you've got items that you can pick up, and lottery tickets. Now, this is where we go into the shop. So, the shop is interesting. Now, if you remember back in the other RPGs by What's-A-Face Kemco, they let you get dragon points because these were more or less ports from mobile games where you could buy these dragon points. But in this game, they just give them to you every 3 battles and you get 5 of them. And you start out with 1,000. Now, 1,000 is actually a lot in this game. So, 1,000 in this game can get you a bunch of stat ups, a bunch of special scrolls to give out special things, and a bunch of special rings. And the ones that I like the most are the warding ring, which means no monster encounters, the battle book and the EXP ring, and the skill ring, which makes going through jobs faster. So you can make it so that you are entirely capable of having no encounters and having a bunch of experience speed up, and just a bunch of other things like being able to increase your movement speed, which is actually pretty nice. And since you earn a fair amount of it after every battle, it means that you can even get around to earning some extra items pretty quick if you keep the encounter rate up, which is nice. There is also the lottery, which is actually kind of ridiculous. So, if we go into the lottery, I'm going to sneeze again and I apologize for that, but here's the drill. So, when you play the lottery, you'll actually get a reward, and that reward can be anything. Like, I just got a potion, and we might as well play until the lottery tickets run out. Antidote, anti-paralytic, anti-confusion, high potion, a herb stew, a high potion, a gemstone, and some eye drops. Now, that wasn't a very good thing, but one of the things you can get in this is the Zeus mail. The goddamn Zeus mail has given me 280 extra defense. No, I'm not even kidding. My guy's literally untouchable right now. He will only take 1 damage per hit. He's kind of ridiculous. So, being able to play the lottery and get literally a game-breaking set of armor might be amusing to some of you. Me, I find it a little bit weird that it's a thing, but oh well, I suppose. I guess I just got lucky because that's the only item of its kind that I've won, so there you go. My guys are all actually taking a lot of damage this time. Auto might not be the best choice. Oh god, I'm getting my ass kicked. That's not good. Right. Thankfully, I do believe we have the ability to flee, which we are going to do because, good god, I was not expecting that to happen. So yeah, apparently hard difficulty is hard. Who would have fucking thought? Hit the R button on the map and you can restore your health and at the cost of like MP and stuff. And let's actually take the next battle seriously as we wander along. But yeah, you get the general idea, more or less. It's a Kemco RPG. Like, I don't know why I expected it to be any different. I like the idea of being able to swap between all the... Whoa. What was that about? I like the idea of being able to swap between all the different party members, and all the different teams, I mean, and all the party members, and making a decently made-up party of all of them, but at the same time... Other than that, it is really one of the most basic sort of... It really is one of the most basic sort of RPGs you can get is pretty much exactly what you expect, more or less. Which isn't a bad thing. Not really. Not in the grand scheme of things. Not at all. No, I don't need any healing right now at the very least, so let's take out that Scout Bee. Oh, all enemies 25% attack down. That's actually pretty useful. So, as you saw, easy is almost quite literally a cakewalk. And now that I've put it up to hard, I'm getting my shit kicked in. Even with the high defensive armor, it's still going to take a I'm still going to take a little bit of a hit, which is actually kind of nice. I was hoping that wasn't going to be completely overpowered, but nevertheless. Yep, I'm actually taking this seriously now. And honestly, it's not that bad. Like, they've made some effort to not make it look like every other RPG they've put out on the Vita so far. It looks okay. Like, as I said, it really is just like a low-rent tile set pulled off the internet. But at the very least, it looks consistent and is actually... like, it's not that bad to look at in the grand scheme of things. The music is horrendously painful, but the sound effects are all alright. I actually have a tent that I can use, and I think I'm going to do that just so that I'm ready for the... just so I'm ready for what's coming up next. I actually do have lots of low potions as well, which I might as well use on everybody until they're all at full health. But you get the general idea. Right, where are we going? Right, I assume we're going to... ow. I assume we're going to through this cave on the map here. We're pretty close. Alright, Mount Vita. Yep, it's a dungeon, alright. Tell us more about the dwarves. Tell us more about Wormvarg. That is a weird name. The game also seems to perform alright. I mean, it's made with Unity, which is a bit of a pain, honestly, because, you know, Unity. But it seems to work okay, even with that being a thing that's worth noting. I don't mind it. I'm being completely honest here, I don't think I mind playing this game at all. I find that to be quite surprising, actually. I wasn't expecting to particularly feel for it. I mean, sure, the writing isn't particularly great. The overall just look and feel of it definitely feels like one of your cheaper Chemco RPGs, but still, it's alright. It costs a bit much. Like, I believe it's 15 bucks normally, 10% off if you're, what's the word? 10% off if you buy it on PlayStation Plus for the first week or so, I believe. That might be me misremembering, but... wow, they do not like those two. But yeah, I find it to be not particularly bad. Like, not in the grand scheme of things, not at all. And I'm actually sort of impressed, more or less. I mean... it's definitely not horrible. Oh, Cure's Idol. I knew I had something like that. Right, oh, enemy column. Right. Oh, no, that's column. I want row. And I can't go back? Really? Oh, return. There we go. You know what? Let's actually swap these guys out before they get into too much trouble and bring in Team 3, who I believe are my physical team. Oh god, leave the poor villager alone, please. Let's just finish him off nice and quickly. So yeah, it's really generic, but it's got a decent little job system, a decent little party system, and I find myself enjoying it slightly more than I was expecting to. And to be fair, considering that this is a Camco game, exceeding expectations is actually kind of impressive for this game. So, let's use a firestorm. A firestorm. I want to get rid of that damn flower. Let's get some HP back up on these dudes if we can, shall we? And what can you do? Alright, let's see if we can confuse a couple of them, shall we? Good thing I healed him, he'd be dead. Oh, I confused both of them. That's actually pretty nice. Alright, attack the sweet flower, please. You can use a low potion to heal yourself. You can attack as well, although you might not be able to because of your paralysis. Oh no, I actually got the attack in. Who would have thought? So if you want the game to actually be difficult, just put it up to hard straight away. I guess that's the entire point of that little demonstration. There we go. Everybody's HP back up. How are they doing on their status? Yeah, he's still affected with poison, right? It doesn't actually fix that. I should have some anti-paralysis. Yeah, there we go. Alright, continuing on. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure why I'm still continuing. I'm kind of out of things to say. I've demonstrated pretty much everything there is to demonstrate. So, what else can we do? Let's just attack it. Save the MP and the trouble. Generally, there will be a... Ooh. Oh dear. Half the team's asleep. That's not good. Let's swap them out. Let's go over to Team 3, shall we? And get some attacks in. And it managed to outspeed everyone, but thankfully didn't actually hurt us that badly. So we win! Hooray! And I believe that should have woken the two team members up that I was, that should have woken those two team members up, that swap out, and I believe it has, which is very good for me. A giant locked door. Tell you what, one more fight and we'll call this one... Ooh, treasure chest. Okay. After this fight and opening the treasure chest, we'll call this one off. Because you've seen pretty much everything there is to see. It's actually difficult when you put it on hard. It's not too bad when you have it on normal. And... well, yeah, you've basically seen everything. You've seen how quests work, you've seen how party members work, you've seen how badly screwed I'm going to be by swapping out to the bloody ranged team with these guys, because apparently these guys aren't very good. They need to be grinded up somewhere. Bastards. Yeah, we're going to swap back in just a moment. Swap back out to Team 1. And I'm out of MP, so I can't do any of my super cool moves. But I can use a lot of HP. And just probably get myself killed, but oh well. We'll do it anyway. He's got good armor. He can afford to lose it all. And attack an enemy row. Can I attack an enemy column? Apparently not. Alright, let's go and attack a row, shall we? Don't think it matters which row I attack. And, alright, you can only attack from the back, but we'll just attack the lower one just to be safe. That damn paralysis dart, I swear to God. Wow, okay, that's not what I was hoping to see. Right, attacks with burning fire. You will die now. Bernard, you really do need to heal our mate there, so let's get you to use... Oh, you're almost out of MP as well. Brilliant. If I was actually planning on playing this anymore because, you know, I actually had the time to play every bloody game that came across my desk, I would be in trouble because I wouldn't be able to get out of the situation. What else can I do? I'll just keep the attacks going, I suppose. Let's swap out to Team 3 and hope they can do the rest of the work. Yep, attack with the axe, please. We will attack one of the dudes in the front row, and we'll do the same thing with this guy. This team is apparently very slow, which is kind of unfortunate. Pretty sure, yeah, I have an accessory on them that increases their speed by like 5%. Let's just get some attacks in, shall we? Someone's about to die, yep, down he goes. That didn't go particularly well, but, well, at least most of our people are still alive to talk about it. But yeah, that's basically it. That was a look at Dragon Sinker, which is, again, a really weird name. It's a Chemco RPG, and it's not actually that bad. I mean, it's very generic, but it's got an interesting little class system going on, a little job system going on, I should say, and it just doesn't appear to be an absolute copy-paste job again, although some of it does appear to be, not all of it is, and while I wouldn't recommend paying the $15 or the $13.49 it's up for right now, at the very least, if you're looking for something that's really pulpy and this game is like $5 or less on sale, that will probably do you fine. At least that's what I think anyway. So, this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.